We are back talking sports and having lunch.
12 o'clock, I got lunch with Steve Russell.
The Dean of Sports Talk is coming to you live from Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studios.
A long, long run and a great run.
Make sure you search for Sports Scene on Facebook, YouTube, and over 30 audio platforms, including Apple and Spotify.
I've been listening to you basically since I was a little kid.
When you live in the community, be part of the community.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is something that is so iconic.
And here's your host, Steve Russell.
Hello, welcome once again to another edition of our Sports Scene podcast. I'm Steve Russell. I hope you are having a great Friday. Got a good show planned for you today. Lots going on this weekend. The Masters is going on, and right now, Rose is the leader, 8 under. He's 1 under par today. The guy making the move is Bryson DeChambeau, who is 6 under par, and he's 3 under par today. Billy Horschel, the Gator in the tournament, was at 5 over yesterday. He has not gone out yet. So you got some pretty big names, the two leaders with Rose and DeChambeau there. Scheffler is 4 under, but he doesn't go out until we're off the air. I think 120 or something like that today. So we'll see what transpires with that. If everything goes according to Hoyle today, Gators softball will be at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a good team. They're ranked. A lot of teams in the SEC are ranked, but they're good. And we hope to be talking to their head coach, Jenny Trachsel. Also today, the coach, Herm Edwards, hopefully joining us, talking a little NFL draft. That's going to happen in just a few days from now. Johnny Townsend, the former Gator, with the orange and blue game coming up tomorrow. Johnny has an event he will tell you about you can go to, get tickets for, and you can hobnob with a lot of former players who come back for the orange and blue game. And then we hope to end the show talking to Gator gymnastics coach Jenny Roland as they get set for nationals, trying to win that national championship. So I hope that's what is going to be on the docket today. Zach Rothrock is our producer. We thank him for his work. So we now await Coach Trachsel, I hope, to talk about her Ole Miss softball team. Another chance tomorrow at the orange and blue game to honor, salute, whatever you want to call it, the Gator men's basketball team. You know, it's funny. When I got to go do my show from the championships that Florida won with Billy Donovan, the back-to-back ones, obviously Gator Nation, very excited, but man, it goes fast. I mean, look how long it's been since those guys won back-to-back. And certainly Florida's going to be doing a lot of work in the portal, trying to replace some really, really good players. And there's a couple of guys who may have to make a draft decision. Condon, Houck, I've seen them in different mock drafts be in the first or second round. So they may have some decisions to make here, and that's what happens. I mean, look, Florida won a championship not because they were lucky, although that plays a part in it, but they've got talent. They were good. They were well coached. They blended together. And that's what brought that about. So we'll see what happens now when Coach Golden goes into the portal. He's lost some assistant coaches who have gone on to get jobs, which is great. I think any coach is very happy for an assistant that goes and gets a head coaching job. So that's part of the process too. But still, this group is together. One more time, you get to salute them tomorrow. They've been all over the place. Man, they've been on national television. They've been on talk shows. Been pretty interesting to see what has transpired with them. So congratulations again to them. Well deserved. Gator baseball got a win last night, much needed. Look, I don't care if you're playing a team with 20 wins or a team with 2 wins. You got to get a win when you can. The Gators did that, and they'll play game 2 of the series with Missouri tonight. All right, going to talk a little Ole Miss softball here as the Gators are in Oxford to take on Ole Miss. Jamie Trachsel, the head coach of Ole Miss, now joins us. Hi, Jamie. Welcome. Thanks for doing this.
Good morning or afternoon, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Okay, if somebody doesn't know about your team, I will give a little thumbnail here. They're nationally ranked. You've had a really good season.
Yeah.
What do you think's been the strength of your team so far, Coach?
We've kind of had a couple different things probably lead the way, but I would overall say our pitching. Our pitching has given us a chance to win almost every game we've played, and our offense has really come alive. A little hiccup last week at South Carolina. Just kind of happened that maybe everyone kind of had that weekend together, but which was unfortunate. But we've put up some good numbers, the last probably 4, 5, 6 weeks or so. And I like the consistency that we're finding in every area. So we're not just pitching led or offensive led. I like that direction that we're headed in, finding really consistent play through every area, not just in one area as we keep moving forward here.
You've used basically three arms in the circle. Are they a little bit different in what they do there?
Yeah, they're all different. And I think that's why we can probably do that. We have a couple arms behind them and Ali Cooper ready. But Miley Wachenio and Bree Lopez and Aaliyah Binford, they're all different. So they complement each other. They offset each other a little bit. So if we need to use them in games, it brings in someone different too. Their velos are different. So we're fortunate in that aspect. When you prepare for one, you're only preparing for one. You're not preparing for our whole staff.
When you see this Florida team on tape, Jamie, what do you see?
An offense that scores runs, right? Obviously they can swing it. They have, game-changing power in their lineup through, about 4 or 5 kids, that have been able to do that. So they get on base. I think that's one thing. So you can see their numbers, but they also, get on base with walks and hit by pitches. So the on base percentage, they're getting on base and then they're scoring runs. And so we have to pitch well. We have to limit free passes. That was something that probably hurt us last weekend. We got to limit free passes, make them earn everything that they get, and really make sure that we're strategic in our pitching and our matchups, and maybe the changes that we make to limit cricket numbers and their damage that they can do.
How'd you get into coaching?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. The short answer is I kind of feel like I was the girl in Remember the Titans way back when, but I'm a little older, so that resonates with me a bit. So I grew up as a multi-sport athlete, which a lot of us did back in that generation. My dad was a hockey coach, so pretty athletic family. Wow. My dad was a coach up in Minnesota when, hockey up there is probably the number one male sport. So just kind of grew up in that household, and I was taping things and watching things in slow motion. I was trying to run captain's practices when I was in 7th and 8th grade. I love the development side of it. I love teaching. I love practice. I like practice design and obviously the strategy of the game. But I feel like I've been on that course since I was a little girl, to be honest with you. And I feel very fortunate to be where I am now. I always like to try to take advantage of the opportunities to say, no matter where you are in your life, you didn't get there alone. There's a lot of people to thank, and you never forget where you come from. So my story of coaching goes back to Duluth, Minnesota when I was a youngster, and so many people, thank along the way to where I am now.
I have, just as an aside here, I have tons of family in Minnesota.
Oh, you do?
My dad was born there. I've got a lot of family that he lived in a very, very small town. But a lot of them near the city now, city. So know it really well. Go up there.
Where's he from?
Pine City, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Is it where
it's north of the cities, right?
Yes. Yeah, about an hour. Yep. Very good. Yeah, very nice. Okay. Anyway, we're just sharing a little Minnesota stuff here, folks. Just don't let us get in the way here. All right. Hitting wise, 5 hitters, Coach, 347 or above, I saw. We talk about your offense a little bit, what it brings to the table.
Yeah, we have 2 new hitting coaches, Aaron Earlywine. He's our lead offensive coordinator, and Bobby Buchanan. They tag team it. They've done an incredible job. So we have a handful of kids, hitting the numbers that you just mentioned, but we've been able to, get on base, score runs, have timely hitting. We feel that there's, that every kid in our lineup is going to be able to do some damage, and we have some depth in our bench. So whether it's a DP role or pinch hitting opportunities based off matchup, we've we've extended those opportunities, and a lot of kids have taken advantage of them and scored, helped come up in big moments for us. So, we like our offense, the direction that they're headed to. Little hiccup last week at South Carolina. That was probably the little notch, but, we have had good practices, good training sessions this week. And we know that we're going to have to keep pace with Florida a little bit, as much as we want to limit damage for sure. But we know that we're going to have to score some runs to stay with them in this series.
Why do you think the sport of softball is so popular now?
It's fun to watch. I think the timeliness of it, the pace of it, the quality of the play, it's not as much just pitching dominant like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So there's a lot of offense, scoring runs, a lot of defensive plays. I think the level of execution too, and maybe just the time, we try to stay in that 2-hour block of window. Sometimes we're over that, but it generally is a pretty fast-paced game with a lot of action. So I think it's entertaining to watch.
Last thing, I've known Tim a long time. I used to call a lot of softball back in the day. And, he always talks about chemistry and, every team being different, building that. What is that like for your team? Is this a good group to coach from a chemistry standpoint? Yeah,
I think this group is special. And I guess if I use the word special, it just means it's normal to be average. It's not normal consistently to have great effort all the time and a great attitude and to have complete buy-in and be invested in not what you're doing at practice or in the games, but the weight room, nutrition, the sleep, the academics. And I just think we have a group that kind of falls a little bit more in that line. And every day it's enjoyable to come to practice. We're not coaching attitude or effort. They're completely bought in. I think if we said run through a wall, they would say how fast, And I think we had 10 returners, 8 freshmen, 8 transfers, and a new, some new coaches coming in. So I kind of let this canvas just develop on its own. Obviously we have some standards. We have our standards here, but it kind of we let us just kind of figure out the identity of this team. And they're fun. They like to have a good time. They're very loose. They can play loose, but they're still hungry. And there's a lot of competitors and a lot of people who've won here. So even coming from different programs. And I think because we have so many new pieces, we can continue be a team that keeps getting better throughout the year, just because we're still putting our pieces together, so to speak. So it's been a great team to coach. Obviously, there's some talent here, a balance of young and old, but every day, people enjoy each other and they respect each other, and then they enjoy being around each other.
Last thing, given what you see with Florida, if I said to you, Coach, what's it going to take for your team to at least win the series? How would you answer that?
We have to pitch well and play good defense and limit damage. And then I would say that if we can minimize their damage and, keep pace with them offensively a little bit, I think we have a chance. And we'll look for a great atmosphere. We had our ribbon cutting for our new stadium today, actually, before this. So there's a lot of excitement here, but we need our crowd to come out, support us. And I like us to be close to the end to be able to kind of win that, in the 6th or 7th inning. So keep it close for as long as we can, or hold that lead, and then be able to finish it off at the end.
Ole Miss and Florida are going to take place this weekend in Oxford. Jamie Trachsel, Ole Miss's coach, joining us here. Coach, thank you. Appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
You too. Good to talk to you. All right.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. We're going to flip to the NFL draft. The coach, Herm Edwards from ESPN, will hopefully join us next. Stay with us.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother, Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football.
Let's go.
We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand. We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers and go Gators.
Albert, Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, We won't back down.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Roos Ogra for your personal price plan today.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless, mimosas, and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Okay. Welcome back to our Sports Scene podcast for today. It's always a pleasure to bring in my next guest, the coach, Herm Edwards from ESPN. You see him all the time talking National Football League. We're going to do that today, specifically the draft. Herm, thank you. I always appreciate you being here. It fascinates me in the days and weeks leading up to the draft about, some teams, well, I did this guy, I don't know about him, and other teams, man, he's great. You've coached, you've been with teams. How much gamesmanship is there in all of this?
Well, a lot of gamesmanship, and I learned that when I first went to the Kansas City Chiefs, my first stint in the NFL as an assistant coach and a scout. And the thing you learn, and what I learned from coaches and GMs and the directors of scouting, the first thing they would tell the staff was, other coaches are going to call you from other teams, which they do, and they're going to ask you, hey, who you like, and they're gathering information basically, and you make sure when they call you and you talk to them about players, you don't mention any players we like. Be an information gatherer, not a provider, right? Yeah. And obviously, there's a lot being said. All of a sudden, a player you may like, somebody puts something out. Well, he got a hurt shoulder, and he got through the medical. So all these things are flying. And this is why the scouts, the guys that have been watching these guys since they were sophomores, are so important in the draft. They've watched these kids develop. A lot of these guys come out early, but they've watched them since they were sophomores. They know everything about these kids. And when they sit in that room, they're a wealth of knowledge. They've watched games. They've gone to practice. Coaches, the coaches go out a month before the draft and they fall in love with guys, and they haven't studied the guys. They look at a couple of tapes. Oh, I love this guy, and the scout comes in there and tells you, well, wait a minute now. And I understood that because I used to be a scout. I learned about players being a scout. When you come in the league as a player, you know your position, you know the positions. And then when you become a coach, you think you know. And I was honest with myself. I said, look, I kind of know what a good offensive lineman looks like. But when you break him down and you scout him, what are we looking for? I learned that from the scouts. I learned that from being a scout. And so all that goes into the process.
Maybe I'm just naive with this, but to me, I don't hear people talk about a tape, Coach. Like there's tape on these guys. You can watch that and see what they do. Is that undervalued?
No, look, first of all, what happens is, it's amazing to me. Guys that go to the combine, all of a sudden, guys fall in love with height, weight, and speed. And, what I learned a long time ago, I said, look, you know what his resume is? The tape. And I tell players, when I was a coach, I said, hey, guys, you know what your resume is? It's the tape. That's your resume. That's what people look at. You can say, well, no. At the end of the day, they're going to look at the tape. What you put on that tape, that's who you are. Not what you do in the weight room, not what you do at a 40-yard dash, not how high you jump. It's how do you play football?
I'm going to use Anthony Richardson, local kid, right? Yeah. I mean, when he had his pro day here, he was.
Oh, he lit it up.
And he struggled. I mean, to be fair, he struggled a little bit. But that's an example, though, sometimes that you can fall in love with a workout and not look at the bigger picture.
Look, coaches always think they can fix a player. The one thing you cannot do with a player, you can't give them talent. You're an information provider. That's what you are as a coach. You provide them information, but you don't give a player talent. They have talent. Now, how do you use this talent? How does it work? How does the system you're about to put him in, let him use his talent to be successful? And you've got to be understandable, especially the position you just named, quarterback. More quarterbacks fail early because they're system driven by the coach's system rather than I'm going to build a system around the quarterback, right? Anthony Richardson, we knew coming out. Now, if you were just like wanting the athletic contest, he's your first pick. He's the first guy off the board. But it's more than that. It's playing the hardest position in football. It's how fast can he process information? How fast does he get the ball out of his hand? How accurate is he? Will he stay in the pocket? All those things. Well, let me tell you something now. That's not, that's what you see on the tape, and the tape don't lie. They don't change all of a sudden because he puts a pro helmet on. Well, you got to figure out, how do I help this guy develop this skill set?
The draft is, always talk about the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But I've always felt, Coach, that the teams that drafted well, drafted to their need, and then coached up that need. And then the guys you get in the third, fourth, fifth round that end up, playing for you and starting, that to me is a sign of a good draft. How did you view that?
Well, and you look at any foundation of drafts, we all admire the first round picks. We get all caught up in the first round pick. But you have numerous picks according to how many you have, and so you build your team from what I used to always say, the crux of your team is from the third round on, the guys you draft. That's going to be the foundation. The star players are 1 and 2, and you're hoping they hit. And that's a 50-50 proposition at times, according to what the position the guy plays and who the player is, right? So now he gets all the attention. But when you think about the third rounder and the fourth rounder, there's a lot of Pro Bowl players that weren't drafted in the first round. First round is all about it's talent. It's the profile of how this individual fits the position with his measurables. And some of them are worthy. Some of them actually come in the league and light it up. They are exactly what you thought. But half of them are not. I'm going to say half. Wow. You think about the draft. Think about, we're having this conversation. Okay, so this year, when these guys get drafted, come back to me next year, and we're going to have the list of all the first rounders and then we're going to say, okay, what did they do as a rookie, being a first round pick?
Interesting. Another thing, by the way, Herm Edwards, the coach, our guest here, you always see him on ESPN talking National Football League. When it comes to watching a player's tape that we talked about earlier, Florida played Miami, and I saw Cam Ward in person. I think he's really good. I'm not sure he's the best quarterback on the board, but I like his pro potential. Do you?
Yes. He's going to be the first one off the board. It'll be interesting to see. Do the Titans take him? If I'm the Titans, I would. I'd take him. It wouldn't be no brainer. That's our quarterback. And we're going to build it around that. Now, is there some things that obviously, you have to do? Yeah. But you got a guy that when you watch him play, you go, ooh, okay, he got it. And he can. It's like, I tell you what, it's like he's like Jane Daniels in this sense.
Wow.
When it gets sticky, you tell him, how you bail yourself out and get to the next down? Run. Go run. Run. And protect yourself when you run. When the journey's over, know when to slide or run out of bounds. If it's sticky and it doesn't look right, don't worry about throwing it. Just run. Just go ahead and run. Go make some yards for us, some positive yards. And so when you get a quarterback of that ilk, that is troublesome to a defense. It drives you mad because you sit there and now it's 11-on-11 football. It's no longer 11 on 10. See, it used to be 11 on 10. Defense always had an extra guy because the quarterback stayed in the pocket. When you get a guy that has the ability to run, but not only run for 3 or 4 yards, if you don't mess around and tackle this guy, he's running for 40 yards. See, that's Jaden Daniels. It shocked these guys. Well, he's going to leave the pocket. Yeah, but here's the problem, guys, because I had him. He played for me. He's not making 5 yards. All of a sudden, you look up and he's 30 yards down the field. You go, will somebody please tackle this guy?
Yeah.
Look, Jaden Daniels, think about Jaden Daniels. He led the team in rushing. He almost had 1,000 yards rushing as a quarterback. He had over 800 yards rushing, and he led the team in passing and touchdowns.
Yeah. Last two things.
Sure.
Before last year and the year that Barkley had,
yes,
all the talk, Coach, about the devalued running back. Has Barkley changed that?
Yeah, look, the D value of that, I don't know where that came up, because you think about it now, and I think teams are realizing this. Because of the spread offense and because of these quarterbacks going into gun, and you play with 3 receivers anymore, and sometimes a tight end, and you use a running back, and you go, we're going to throw the ball all around. Well, here's the problem. On defense now, what you're forcing defense to do, they play with light boxes. They take those, the heavy, big, thick linebacker that plays the run, he's an obsolete guy. He leaves the field on first down because everybody throws it. So if you're smart, you know what you do? You say, you know what? We got a 215-pound linebacker sitting in there playing the pass. We're going to run. So people take advantage of light boxes. These linebackers are light. They're 215 pounds. They're trying to cover tight ends and running backs. And so now you say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to run the football. We're going to double up to that linebacker. He can't get off the block, and we're going to run for 5 yards every time we run. That's the problem. That's what offensive guys are doing now. They're going light box, running back, run. Heavy box, we'll pass.
Last question. And again, I hate to go back to the quarterback thing, but if you have a high pick, Coach, and you select a guy and he doesn't work out.
Quarterback?
Whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
For whatever the reason. How far does that set you back? The Giants,
5
Daniel
years.
Jones didn't work out.
5 years.
Okay.
5 years. It's 5 years.
Wow.
Look at all the teams that drafted quarterbacks in the first round that didn't pan out. Here's one. First pick, Tennessee Titans. Yeah. You think they're a little nervous? The Giants have the 3rd pick. You think they're a little nervous? The Cleveland Browns traded for a guy. Didn't work out. You think they get a little nervous? Think about how long they have gone through this. The New England Patriots. No longer is Captain America there. No longer is Bill Belichick there. They're hoping this kid May is going to pan out. I think he will. I hope he does. But if he doesn't, you're talking 5 years. Because you don't recover. Because the first 2 years are a wash. You go, hey, we got to let the guy go. The 3rd year, you start getting nervous. You're going, well, is he going to the guy or not? And now you're thinking, if it ain't the guy, guess what? We got to go get a guy. It's a fight. Think about all the teams that have drafted quarterbacks in the first round. Think about the head coach doesn't survive it after 5 years, right? And the GM generally. They get a new head coach and a new GM. Then you start the process all over again.
Wow. Coach, always appreciate your time talking NFL. We'll see what happens here in the draft. After it, we'll get you back. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure, my friend.
You got it. Herm Edwards, again, coach to NFL. You see him all the time on ESPN. When we come back, Florida's Orange and Blue game takes place tomorrow. Johnny Townsend, the former Gator, is going to join us to tell you about something going on with him and what you can do, and see a lot of former players coming back here. Stay with us on our Sports Scene podcast.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother, Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football. Let's go. We are the owners of Trachsel Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand. We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers and go Gators.
Albert, Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Roos Ogra for your personal price plan today.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Welcome back to our Sports Scene podcast. Hopefully, we'll hear from Johnny Townsend as Orange and Blue takes place tomorrow. He'll have an event he will hopefully tell you about, and then we'll end the program saving the best for last. Jenny Roland, Gator gymnastics coach, as her team gets set to compete in the NCAA championships after winning a regional to qualify to get there. Masters still going on today, and you just hope for that the weather cooperates. You know, that's the big thing, that you just don't want it to, get in the way of the scoring. But the golf course is playing. What's the word I want to use? To the golfers' benefit. Scores are pretty darn good for the most part. So it should be a fun Masters to watch to the end here. The other thing I want to bring up real quickly is I've gotten a lot of emails about this. When I'm hoping starting next week that we can get emails incorporated like we used to do with the radio sports scene program. I'll send out my email, and during the course of the show, I'll try and answer questions live via email. So we hope that can work, and we will try that and check it out. And again, we're waiting on Johnny, so hopefully he will join us. What he does have going, if he doesn't join us for some reason, if he forgot or whatever, there's an alumni event that is going to be happening over there that you can buy a ticket to get into, and it's really good. A lot of former Gator players come back for this. A lot of them. It's fun for me because I get to see friends from, heck, when I was in school here back in the Stone Age, all different eras, all different types of players come back. A lot of fun. And that's going to be taking place tomorrow morning before the Orange and Blue game at noon. So we hope to get Johnny here. If not, I wanted to give him a quick shout out for what is happening. And then, as I mentioned, Jenny Roland will be here. I'm going to give you a quick, I hope, Masters update. Rose is now at 9 under. He leads. He's 2 under for the day. DeChambeau is 6 under. He's 3 under for the day. McCarty is at 5 under. He's 4 under for today. So a lot of good scores being posted early today. M is at 5 under as well. And Scheffler, 4 under, but he's not going to tee off until a little after 1 o'clock today. So, all right. We're going to try to get Johnny here. I just texted him. So hopefully we will get him here before we get to Jenny Roland. Jenny has to be off because she's got to take an NCAA call, and we want to get her off in time for that. So, again, hopefully Johnny will hook up with us here real quickly. All right, I'm doing this live here as we speak. I'm trying to get him on here. All right. All right. He says he doesn't have a link, Zach. So I don't know what. Okay, we can try that real quick. Let's see if we can get him one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll get this to his phone, and hopefully he will hook up with us real quick. And this happens sometimes. I've learned this. When you do radio, it's okay. I mean, sometimes you have a miscommunication with a guest, but there's callers, there's emails. It isn't quite the same in a podcast, because you either hook up with your guest or you don't. So it's just one of those things where, we'll try to get him here. And if not, Zach, what we'll try and do, I'll take a break and then get Jenny on, and maybe after Jenny, we can grab him if we can't get him right now, because time is going kind of short here before we get to Coach Roland. So I know she has to get off the phone because she has to take that NCAA call. So you want to go ahead and all right, let's go ahead and take a break now. Then we'll come back, and then hopefully we will get with Jenny Roland and then get Johnny on the other side. Stay with us on our Sports Scene podcast.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother, Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football. Let's go. We are the owners of Trachsel Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand. We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers and go Gators.
Albert, Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Roos Ogra for your personal price plan today.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Welcome back to our Sports Scene podcast. Well, Gator men's basketball winning a national championship. My next guest has a chance to win a national championship because the NCAA gymnastics championship is going to be taking place in a few days. And here with us is Gator coach Jenny Roland. Jenny, congratulations on getting there. Take us back to the regionals, assess your performance there.
Thanks for having me. It's always great to talk with you. The regional championships, NCAA regional championships is truly It's a grind. It's a grind. It's the top 36 teams in the country into, the top 16, and what regionals used to be and what it is today. It's different. What it is today is like what a semifinals national championship used to be like. It's not good enough now just to hit a meet. You've got to hit and be at your best in order to get out and qualify to nationals. So extremely proud of this team. We had a phenomenal showing day one. Day two was not as strong. However, it was enough. So Gators are still dancing and looking forward to competing in Fort Worth here next week.
Every team is different, but your program has been here. A lot of the kids know what to expect. In preparation for this, Jenny, do you do anything different? What do you do to prepare for this?
Really, we try to prepare a little bit more intentionally and less numbers and more just figuring out mentally what these athletes need to refine. If there's anything, there's not a whole lot of changes, we like to say, just a little tweaking, working on sticks. Really, the national championship could be won by any of those top four teams on any given day. And really, it's who's going to be able to control their emotions the best, who's going to be able to stick the most landings. So that's what we're just doing, is just doing a little refining work.
A friend of mine, I told I was going to have you on, and he wanted me to ask you a question. I think it was a good question. He said, can you ask Coach how much of her sport is mental as opposed to physical? I thought it was a great question.
I don't know what that percentage is, but that percentage of mental is definitely higher. Being such a subjective sport and being a sport that you need to attain perfection, that is really challenging on the mental side alone. So trying to get a little bit better and knowing that, hey, this is the best I can do and still not being perfect, and finding that balance is extremely challenging. And, that's something that we deal with on a daily basis, especially these athletes are perfectionists, to say the least. And sometimes it's harder. You are your own worst critic. So finding that grace, that amount of grace and balance and push and it's going to be okay. That's something that we deal with on a daily basis.
The season, like any collegiate season, is a grind. It's a long season. It's a grind. And now you're at the climax of it. How important is rest at this point in terms of preparation, in terms of getting to where you want to be?
Extremely important. And that's how I would say our preparation is a little bit different going into this meet than we would normally. 2 days off, 2 days on, a day off here, 2 days off. Really, that rest is equally or more important, we always talk about, than, our on days. So it's extremely important for these young women to take care of themselves outside of the gym. And we don't really call them like off days. We call them recovery days, days, massages or treatments, or, just doing whatever it is that you need to take care of yourself.
How much fun is it to coach this event?
How much fun is it to coach at the NCAA championships?
Yes.
It's the cherry on top. Really, you get through regionals, and nationals is really just all right. We've made it here. We've had absolutely nothing to lose, and let's just go be the best skaters we can be.
Is the place it's held, the apparatus, is that different? Do you have to adapt to that at all?
So it's been held in the Dickies Arena the last several years, and this event is on podium. So we will have an opportunity to have a training on podium the day before we actually compete. So all 8 teams will have a training session prior and just get used to the equipment, get used to the podium. The podium's a little more forgiving, makes the floor a little bouncier, makes the beam a little bouncier. Just everything is a little bit different. When you run down the vault runway, you feel like you're sprinting when you're actually just running your normal. So there are things that you've got to figure out how to tweak and adjust.
I learn something from you every time I talk to you, which is I love talking to you because of that.
Awesome.
I don't want to ask you, Jenny, what's going to take to win, because obviously that's scoring. But I know you really like this team. You've liked coaching this team. In your preparations, what the kids have done, do you get the sense, they're going to be at their peak and ready to go?
Hey, I would say this team openly has spoken since day one of their desire to win a national championship.
Wow.
That is something that we as coaches have very intentionally, like, that's our goal. That's what we work on, but that's not what we speak out loud, because there are so many uncontrollables in our sport. We're going to work as hard as we can. We're going to work as intently as we can, to be the best that we can be. But there's a little bit more to just winning, but this team they've been on a mission. Their intention is just a little bit higher. It's just a little bit more this season, this semester. And in the gym, it's been so much fun as a coaching staff to see these athletes like come back from a meet. Okay, what do I need to do next? How do I get a little bit better? And they truly, all season long, they've been grinding. So just really excited to see where this team started and where they are now. And grateful that I get to be by their side for one more week in Fort Worth.
Last thing, why is your sport so popular now?
Well, I would say, why shouldn't it be, or why isn't it? It's one of the most exciting events. It takes such athleticism, skill, grace. It's a combination of so many types of athletes all together in one, between that mental preparation, that physical preparation. And it's a beautiful sport. It's a dynamic sport. It's a fierce sport. You have to be tough as nails to be a gymnast at this level. Sorry, there's no doubt about that.
Nothing to be sorry about. It's the truth. You know that. I wish you, fingers, whatever, crossed for you.
I'll take it.
Congratulations on a great season so far. And
Thank you.
I hope you do well. And I always appreciate you, Jenny. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Go Gators.
Yep. Jenny Roland joining us here. We'll take a break and have one final segment. Stay with us here on our Sports Scene podcast.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother, Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football. Let's go. We are the owners of Trachsel Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand. We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers and go Gators.
Albert, Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Roos Ogra for your personal price plan today.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
All right, we're going to wrap up our Sports Scene podcast for today, talking Orange and Blue. That annual event takes place tomorrow. And this guy, my next guest, has an event. I'm going to just throw it to him. Johnny Townsend joins us now. JT, man, thanks for doing this. You got the floor, man. Tell people what you got going, how they can get involved.
I appreciate it. As you can tell, I'm on the way up to Gainesville right now. I'm in the passenger seat, not driving. Don't worry.
Good.
But this is a big weekend for the whole Gator community. We got some fun hype coming off the national championship, and it's going to be rocking in town, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. You don't get to salute national champions every day. You know that.
Hopefully it puts the pressure on the football team that they got to be next. But yeah, we got a lot going on, man. This weekend is a big one for myself personally. I started a foundation when I was punting at the University of Florida that blossomed into a huge community organization that engulfs Gators football, University of Florida health, leadership groups on campus, and the biggest event of the year is this Saturday. It's the spring game tailgate, and it's the direct merger between sport and charity. We're the official Gator football alumni event, so we host over 100 former Gator players every year from all generations, from Coach Steve Spurrier to Kyle Trask up to the recents. And then we also combine it with a fundraiser for UF Health. So we rent the whole north lawn of Ben Hill Griffin Stadium on the right side of Gator Walk, and we tend it off with all-you-can-eat barbecue, open bars, live DJ, and we have a good time for raising money for UF Health and for the former players.
It's fun for me. I mentioned this earlier because I get to see all the former players and talk to them and interview, and even guys I went to school with, and like you said, all generations back. If somebody wants to attend the event, Johnny, how can they do that?
Well, I'll say this: it's definitely one that you don't want to miss. But to tune into it, go to JohnnyTownsendFoundation.com, tap the events tab up there on the top, and you'll see the spring game tailgate and all the information on how to get tickets and how to join us.
And when you do that, I think the great thing about this is, from a sports standpoint, you got a game to go see. All the players come back, but it also melds two things because it helps other organizations and people. That's a good thing too. Did you get me there?
Yeah, sorry, I think we cut out there a little bit.
Oh, okay. What I said, I'm sorry. What I said was, I think this is a great thing because not only do older or former players come back and you get to talk to them and mingle with different generations, but it also is a charitable thing too. And I think that that combination of things is really good.
Definitely. Yeah, we found a really unique way to not only support pediatric patients that you are a beneficiary, but also and get the event to the general fact that they can, meet and greet and tailgate with Heisman Trophy winners and national champs and Super Bowl champs. So it's become a really unique event.
I guess I want to know, I don't know the answer to this. How'd you get involved? How'd you get involved in doing this?
You pull over. When I was at the University of Florida, I was in a student government program, and one for student athletes as well. But they basically just sent us out into the community to do various initiatives, such as building houses and visiting patients at hospitals, and the latter stuff. I met a few patients at UF Health that relationships with, and wanted to do more with the platform. And at the time there was no NIL, so even running a charity was shot down by the NCAA because it was leveraging my likeness to raise money even for a third party. We just did some things here and there, and once we signed away the eligibility, we were able to officially fundraise for the patients, and it's become what it is.
All right, it's a great event. Hopefully a lot of people will be at it. And safe journey here, Johnny. Appreciate you doing this, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. And one more time for those that can join us, go to JohnnyTownsendFoundation.com, tap the events tab, and look for the spring game tailgate. And it's going to be a great one. So look forward to seeing you there.
Yep. Be safe getting here, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That's going to do it for our Sports Scene podcast for today. Our thanks to the coach, Herm Edwards from ESPN, Gator gymnastics coach, Jenny Roland, Ole Miss softball coach, Jamie Trachsel, and Johnny Townsend joining us here to wrap up the show. I'm Steve Russell. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll talk to you tonight on the Gator baseball broadcast as the Gators take on Missouri. Thanks to Zach Rothrock for producing. See you later. So long.